And welcome back to the Daily News. Cinda Seamon is with us now. She's the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the town of Hilton Head. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Now we're talking about a kind of a different topic today. We're talking about wildfires.
Mm-hmm.
But do we really have wildfires in the Lowcountry?
We do, we can, and we do. Most people think of wildfires the west side of the country. But actually the south is very susceptible. Think about all the vegetation we have here.
Right. And all the rural land that we have here as well.
So we are very susceptible to wildfires.
Well, Cinda, how does a fire of that magnitude, how does it start?
It's funny because when I was doing a little bit of research on it, they actually, a lot of times, will start from embers. You know, you may have a fire going. They say embers can travel as much as a mile. Wow. They will start a spot fire somewhere, and next thing you know, you've got a fire going. Right. They can also penetrate like under shingles of roofs that are loose, in vents on the side of houses. So I was so surprised to read that, but embers from another fire can travel and start spot fires, and then all kinds of things can happen depending on where they start, depending on the vegetation, how dry it is, the climate, the temperature, all of that.
So you could even have like a campfire and those embers travel, or you could even have your, fire in your backyard with your, anyway, that's pretty amazing.
Right.
So, speaking of yards, what can we do to prevent in our own neighborhoods? What can we do to prevent a fire from
You know, it all comes down to good landscaping. Think about flame or fire retardant or resistant kind of materials when you're building your house. Think about using gravel or stone instead of a flammable mulch. Think about plants that aren't oily and waxy and aren't flammable. Think about putting bushes rather than a big straight line all together. Do them in small clusters, break it up. Make sure dead vegetation and leaves, and trim bushes. Keep everything trimmed and neat and a distance from the house. Cluster them around. Also, if you have trees that are draping down on the houses and stuff, trim those trees. Right. You know, those branches. It's really all about good landscaping, keeping it clean. And think about, too, don't be storing things under your porch. If it gets really cluttered or leaves pile up under somewhere and you're storing a bunch of stuff under porches and decks, that can be
also maybe create a danger. What about, we have a fire pit in our backyard, and then we have wood stacked up near the fire pit. Is that okay to do that? I guess just...
Yeah, because people do keep wood, But again, if we leave things in one place too long and leaves start to pile under them and it gets to be a bad condition, that's what we really have to watch for in our yards, kind of piling up too much too close, because things catch on each other on fire. So that's why spreading out, the more clearance you have, more space you have, the better. And sort of interesting, some of the plants that are more flame resistant or fire resistant are tulips, red oak, periwinkle, vinca, crepe myrtle, azalea, and Boston ivy. And you don't think of that when you're doing planting, but those are, they're more fire resistant. So those are the kinds of things you start paying attention to. But spring is coming. This is a great time for spring cleaning, cleaning up the yard, keeping it clean. So if something happens this summer, you're ready for it.
Very good. Cinda, always good information. You are a wealth of great information for us on the WHHI Daily News. Thank you so much for being here. And when we come back, we were in Allendale County this week at a groundbreaking for a new company from Vietnam, the first Vietnamese investment in South Carolina. The company is called Ting Tong. So stay with us to find out more.